Yo, what is going on, guys? I do apologize for this video. I recorded it. I'm recording it on my phone on my way to work. So let me know if you guys still enjoy these types of videos. They just come to my head last minute. So let's just get to it, man. Lately I've been on social media, and I just been thinking a lot of people, man. There's always something that people are doing. Crypto, real estate. Getting into, e-commerce. A lot of stuff that you can look up online, and you'll see like a get rich scheme, right? To be honest with you, I've fallen for these types of scams before, and it's not a good feeling, right? There's no such thing as a get rich quick. What I've learned working for a really small company is that everything takes time. Sometimes when you start something, it doesn't take sometimes 5, 10, 15, 20 years to even see the progress that you want to make, right? Where maybe when you're making the financial money that you want, and that's okay. I do realize that sometimes people who do actually end up making it, obviously that's always the end goal, but they're the ones that are actually just working every single day. Like, they're focused on the process more than the outcome. And this is something that I've been struggling with. I'm a very impatient person, so for me to be having to wait 5 to 10 to 15 years, maybe 20, to start seeing some actual results on my business, because as you know, I do have a business that I started a long time ago, but I'm never consistent. You know what I mean? I always get frustrated, and it really sucks because I'm an ambitious person, but I'm also not consistent every day. I was having a talk with my wife the other day that I'm just not a consistent person. I feel like I'm really ambitious, and I'm a good worker when it comes to like following orders at work. And if I'm getting taxed, when I get something assigned to me, I make sure I get it completed in the best way possible, so I can be looked at as a reliable person, a person that can get the dirty work done. But and I can show up for my job, but somehow I can't show up for myself. Can you guys relate to that? I don't know why. It's always been kind of a thing that I've had. I don't know why I don't show up for myself. I'm never consistent. I can work my hardest trying to build something one day, and then the next day I'm completely not even, working on it, or I'm lazy because I feel like it's too much work. And, but when I started, I enjoy the process, and that's something that I have to learn. I'm 25 years old, and I feel like I'm running out of time, but in reality, I'm right where I need to be. I don't know why I struggle with this. I want to know if you guys struggle with being inconsistent. And it's funny, right? Because you can show up for your job. I mean, you're gonna do things for your boss that you wouldn't even do for yourself for some reason. And hold on, pause. But nah, I'm just playing. But it's just, I don't know. It's been frustrating me a lot lately because I want a good life. I don't want to be having to worry about money when I'm in my late 30s or early 40s. I just don't want money to be an issue in my life. I don't want to have to worry about calling in sick and feeling guilty for calling in sick. I mean, at that age, you know what I mean? It's not a good way of living, in my opinion. But this is no disrespect to anybody who's still working a 9 to 5. I'm working a 9 to 5. But yeah, man, it's just so many things out there that kind of distract you from your vision, because I can sit here and think about my business, but then I get on social media and I see other people doing other things in other industries, and it gets me thinking like, man, should I just stop this and pursue that? And that's always been a thing of mine. I don't think I've been committed and disciplined enough to finish a lot of things. Like back in the day, I did like a real estate course, and I was so invested in it for a while, and then I just kind of stopped because I wasn't, I would find any excuse to not continue the the program, you know. And looking back, that's my problem. When I see a certain issue, every industry has an issue, right? There's always gonna be bad times in every industry, you know. And I think sometimes I just focus too much on the bad times that I kind of make up a good excuse for people to feel kind of like sorry for me, kind of like, okay, you're right, you know. I want people to hear, hey, you know what, you're right, whatever excuse I throw, just so it can make me feel better, you know. I used to quit jobs all the time, and I would always tell my parents a really good excuse, and my mom would always say, you know what, you're right, son. So in a way, I would try to justify my excuse so people can make me feel better about myself, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't tell them the whole truth, but I would just I just always been a person who makes up excuses, and even to this day, I try to tell myself I don't, but I do. I catch myself more now than I did when I was maybe a teenager. In my early 20s, like I said, I'm 25. I'm still very young, still very stupid, still making a lot of mistakes every day, but I'm trying my best, you know. And this is something that has been bothering me. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys go through. If you can drop your, you know, age and what you go through in the comments below, I would really appreciate it. So, you know, we can kind of build like a community to kind of just support each other and just, you know, just help each other out, right? Especially, you know, dads out there. I'm a dad. I have two daughters and a beautiful wife, and you know, just people, so we can just build a community that we can all grow together and become better, you know. And that's really why I make these videos sometimes. Just kind of, I want to document my life so I can look back one day and just kind of see all the progress I made over the years. But even then, I still get cringed the fuck out. So well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.